What if everything you are, your memories, emotions, even your sense of self, isn't inside your brain at all? What if the brain is just a receiver, tuning into something much greater? Today, we dive deep into one of the most fascinating debates in science and philosophy, dualism versus materialism, and ask the ultimate question: are we more than just our brain? 1. Dualism versus materialism. Dualism argues that consciousness is distinct from the physical brain. René Descartes, the famous philosopher, believed that the mind and body are fundamentally different substances. Materialism takes the opposite stance. Consciousness, it says, arises entirely from brain processes. When the brain stops working, so do you. Materialists point to strong evidence: brain damage alters personality and self-awareness. Alzheimer's erases memory and identity. Anesthesia shuts down conscious experience entirely. If consciousness truly existed independently of the brain, switching it off shouldn't erase it. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? 2. Brain as a receiver. Some researchers argue the brain might be more like a receiver for consciousness, not its source. When a radio is damaged, the broadcast doesn't vanish, it just becomes distorted. Likewise, brain damage might impair our access to consciousness without destroying it. It's a bold idea, and it brings us to one of the strangest pieces of evidence in neuroscience: the split brain phenomenon. 3. The split brain experiments. In the 1960s, neuroscientist Roger Sperry studied patients who had their corpus callosum, the bridge between brain hemispheres, surgically cut to treat epilepsy. When each hemisphere received different images, something strange happened. The left hemisphere could describe what the right eye saw. The right hemisphere could draw what the left eye saw, but couldn't put it into words. It was as if two separate streams of consciousness were living inside one skull. 4. Fragmented awareness. Imagine a radio with two speakers. Disconnect them, and they still play, but separately. The brain's hemispheres work the same way, specialized, yet united to create a seamless experience. When split, awareness itself seems to divide, almost like a dual consciousness. If the brain is merely a receiver, perhaps each hemisphere tunes into its own channel. 5. Consciousness beyond computation. Neuromorphic computing tries to mimic the human brain, billions of artificial neurons processing information like we do. But here's the catch: even the most advanced AI shows no sign of subjective experience. Philosopher David Chalmers calls this the hard problem of consciousness. Why do we feel things at all? Why is there a first-person perspective? Physicist Roger Penrose takes it further, suggesting consciousness may be non-computational, meaning it can never be replicated by AI, no matter how advanced. 6. Reincarnation and ancient insights. If consciousness survives the body, could it even return? Hinduism and Buddhism have long taught reincarnation, the idea that the self, or Atman, is reborn. Cases studied by Dr. Ian Stevenson of children recalling past lives fueled this mystery further. Ancient sages claimed that deep meditation could dissolve the ego and reveal past life memories. Maybe they weren't just telling stories, maybe they were explorers of consciousness in ways modern science rarely attempts. 7. Are humans just biological machines? Maybe our belief that consciousness is special is just wishful thinking. Fire once seemed magical until we discovered combustion. Perhaps subjective experience will one day be explained entirely by physics, and humans will be revealed as nothing more than advanced biological machines. But what if we can never replicate it? What if even the smartest AI, packed with billions of artificial neurons, never feels anything? 8. Even dogs have qualia. Dogs have only 530 million neurons, far fewer than humans, yet they clearly feel joy, fear, love, and pain. Machines? They still feel nothing. Maybe neuron count isn't the secret. Maybe the key lies in something beyond pure computation, something we haven't even begun to measure. 9. The unanswered question. Subjective experience doesn't have a clear evolutionary purpose. We know how brains think, but we still don't know why there is something it's like to be you. So, are we more than just our brain? Materialism offers strong evidence that consciousness is deeply tied to brain function, but the possibility that our minds extend beyond biology cannot be ruled out. Maybe one day, science will settle this debate. Until then, the mystery of consciousness remains one of the most profound questions in existence. What do you think? Is the mind just the brain, or is it something far greater? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's explore this mystery together.